Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, before I first met you I was lonesome, but then you came inside and my heart grew alive in this whole...
Hello, today we are going to be talking about vintage purses and how do you take care of them. There's definitely a little bit of extra care that you have to go into whenever you own any vintage item. They're no longer new, they've been used, they may have been used a lot, and then they probably also sat in an attic or a garage or a basement or the back of somebody's closets for a couple decades. So I'm going to go through a couple different kinds of materials that you might find vintage purses made from, and then give you a little bit of information about how I take care of and maintain and clean mine. So the first kind is like this one. This is a vinyl purse, should we say like a faux leather purse. It's got a metal clasp on it, alright, and a couple of pockets for different things. It's got the same kind of man-made material on the inside as it does on the outside, it's just a different color. Alright, so with these kind of purses I usually start by wiping them off with a dry rag and then wiping them off with a damp rag to try and get as much stuff off as possible. You can also use a little bit of 409 or similar cleaner if you got some stains on there or something. I usually try it first on the bottom just to make sure it's not going to cause any of the colors to run or any funky reactions with the materials before I use it on the outside of the bag. And that's just to keep that faux leather looking as nice as possible. Okay. Another kind, you may get a purse like this one, this little bag, which is made of actual leather. Okay. And actual leather does take a little bit more care. Leather, you know, it came off of a living, breathing creature. It needs to be nurtured and fed. So you're going to need some leather care products, and with what I use, this is leather lotion from a company called NatureCraft. They come to the Ohio Renaissance Festival every year, so that's where I purchased this. They also have a website, which is naturecraft.net. I will leave a link down there below. This is handmade from beeswax, and this comes in a big solid, I mean it's solid in there, cake, and you just take a cloth, this is my leather cloth, and you rub it on there, just a little rub, and you rub it on to your leather, okay, and it'll soak in. Depending on how long it was since your leather was last conditioned, it may soak up a lot and you might have very thirsty leather. But that will help keep the leather nice and soft and supple. If your leather's a little sad and cracking, it'll kind of rejuvenate it. It also seals it a little bit and gives it a little bit of protection. They also have another product, I can't remember what it's called, but it's dark brown and it's more of a sealant, like hardcore waterproofer. I haven't tried it. This is one I got last year. I might try and get that again. But I like this because of the light color. You can use it on whatever color leather you have. So just be careful when you're doing this, because sometimes the dye will leak off of the leather. Like you can see, this is my dye cloth, that some of the corners are kind of sad looking. I've done all my Renaissance Festival leather fixing too. So that is that. And you don't have to like wipe it off or anything. You just wipe it in, let it dry and kind of soak up for a while before you use it, but that's it. And again, if you have leather on the inside, this one has fabric on the inside. So again, I would use a dry cloth and then a damp cloth. If you have cloth bags, another great thing is Febreze for getting out the stinkies. If you got that old smell or smoky smell or whatever, spritz a little Febreze on there. It's very safe for fabrics most of the time, and that will kind of help get the stinkies out. Okay, Here's another type of little fabric purse. It's got like a brocade or jacquard, I can't tell which one this is, bag. This one does not have any kind of hard bottom to it, so you can actually hand wash it if it's like that. If it's got some kind of stiffening material in there, you don't want to completely submerge it in water in case that's a cardboard material. Obviously, if it was like plastic, like you would expect to find in a modern purse, then that would probably be okay, but you don't want to do it with vintage purses in case there's cardboard in there. Okay, and again, you could use damp cloth, dry cloth with this. Fabric ones you can take to the dry cleaner if you're really unsure about what it is. Lastly, I just got this really fabulous purse. I've been wanting a wicker purse for like forever, and I found this one this weekend, and it's super amazing. It says Paris, Rome, New York, London, and Monte Carlo on there. So it's kind of like a suitcase. This little like stamps you get on the suitcase. So with wicker purses, a lot of times they just need a good dusting for the outside. Again, you can use a dry cloth to wipe it off. If you get one of those really fluffy duster, Swiffer duster things like we have, you can use that. That can kind of help get in some of the little nooks and crannies that they have, just to kind of de-dustify it. And then inside this purse, this is a really nice one, and it actually has a leather, teal leather interior. Yeah, I told you this purse is awesome. So I'm going to have to go over this with the leather lotion later this evening. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it's got this little gold pocket material. I'm pretty sure that's not actual leather, so I'm not going to be putting the leather lotion on there. Alright? With these wicker ones, you probably don't try not to get them wet. It won't kill it if it's got a little wet, but it is wood, and you can get water damage and stuff on wood. So I think that's all the different types of materials that I wanted to talk about today. The biggest thing with purses is to do the best you can to identify what part of the bag is made of what part of the material, and care for each part separately. We have a lot of bags have mixed materials. This one has kind of the vinyl-y part in the bottom, leather handle, little metal detail, and the inside is fabric. Alright, so each of those different areas need to be cleaned separately. Okay? And as far as storing your purses, I like to store mine this direction. I don't really like to hang them because that does cause some extra stress to the handle. And if you could store them somewhere what's enclosed or has a shelf on top, just to help minimize the dust, because you're just making more work for yourself. I keep mine on a little shelf in my closet. One side of my closet has just one row of shelves for one like hanging rack for dresses. The other one has two, one on the top and one on the bottom, so keep shirts on the top, skirts on the bottom, and I put my purses along the top of that skirt thing. So the clothes on top helps keep them from getting quite so dusty. So I think that's all that I have to say about caring for and maintaining your vintage purses. So if you have any questions about vintage purses, or you would like to share with me your favorite vintage purse, go ahead down there in the comment section and let me know, because I would love to chat with you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you would like to see more videos from me, that's the best way. It'll keep you up to date whenever a new video is posted, and you get to see some more of my lovely face. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos about caring for vintage items, or perhaps seeing some more of my vintage purse collection, go ahead, click that thumbs up button, let me know that you liked it. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching.
Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, before I first met you I was lonesome, but then you came inside my